Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know, long time no see. I want to say though, January 2020, I posted this video. This video has almost reached 300,000 views. This is a dialysis tutorial for somebody who is on peritoneal dialysis. Peritoneal dialysis is at-home dialysis. This is basically the routine if you're on the Amia machine. And I have gotten messages from doctors, nurses, patients. So thank you for watching. I think of all the videos on my channel, obviously, because it's gotten the most views, but I get the most engagement and comments and questions and just inquiries about how the process goes or what to do about other things. So this is the video that motivates me to make more content because it's something that people are forever dealing with. Until they change the process of dialysis, which this process in particular, I was a fan of. It worked really well for me. But until that process changes, this is something that people will forever be able to use. So I'm super proud of it, but I thank you guys for watching, and I thank you for all my new subs. I haven't even been on here since I reached another milestone, 5,000 subs. Thank you guys for being with me and returning, and like I said, engaging. It's always so important to me. It means so much. Even though I haven't been on here, I do constantly read comments and respond to comments, even though I haven't actually posted videos. But I'm back and I'm ready to talk about what's going on. Let's just get into this video. From the title of this video, it might seem like this might be like a Debbie Downer type video, but it's not. It's truth, and sometimes truths can be a little heavy, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It just depends on your perspective. So I'm gonna get right into it. So I've been gone a little while. I can't even remember the last time I posted, maybe in May of last year. And I think that video was supposed to have a part 2, and I accidentally erased the second part of the video. And then from there, life just went crazy, but crazy good. I am literally the most happy I've been, I think, in my entire life. Obviously, I'm living in this moment right now, so it's the moment that I have the most recollection of. And I realized that I've had wonderful, like wondrous pockets in my life, and then I've had not so wondrous pockets in my life. But I think what will forever be one of the biggest moments and life-changing things for me is my diagnosis of kidney disease, and then having to have one kidney transplant in 2014, and then my second kidney transplant in 2021. And those moments have really been the driving force for everything that I do and everything that I feel. I think I'm always saying, like, through the hardest times in your life, and I think if anybody's had any sort of life experience with any troublesome time, you realize that once you get to the other side of it, it changes you and it shifts you for the better, right? But one thing kidney disease has done is it's left an everlasting effect on my mental space, but I've not let that mental space dominate me. So PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is an actual diagnosis. So you don't want to just use that term so loosely, but I do have a long-lasting effect from my experience with kidney disease. Even though I can claim that right now is the happiest moments in my life, I live my life every day with just slight thoughts of like, oh my God, I hope my kidneys are okay. I hope everything's still going good. At this point in my kidney disease journey, I am at full health. All of my numbers in my blood work are all in their normal range. Every last one, even my creatinine, I think my last read was 1.11. That's the upper of the normal range, but I'm in the normal range. And the way that I read my results on Vanderbilt's website is they have in the middle, it's green for the normal range, and on the outside of that normal range, it's like yellow. And everything that they test for falls somewhere in that green. And it gives me such relief every time that I do it, every single time. But I think something I have to still work on getting a grasp on, because this is the reality of life when you live with chronic illness, and a chronic illness that has deep effects on your day-to-day life. Because my health has been so good, and anybody who's dealt with a transplant, you'll know that as time progresses past your kidney transplant, the doctors move your appointments further and further and further out. And I think the furthest out they actually can be scheduled is once a year. So when your health is like maintained, the doctors really are like, you know what? It looks like your medicine regimen, how you're living your life, it looks like all those things are in alignment, unless something super traumatic happens or super detrimental to your health happens. Like, the kidney decline is actually extremely slow. So when doctors feel like your health is in alignment, you keep scheduling out and out and out until you get a year. So I had my transplant September 1st of 2021. It is now, it's crazy, January of 2024. So I'm about 2.5 years out from my transplant, and my appointments are now scheduled every 6 months. So even 2.5 years out, and even though my health has consistently been on the rise, I'm still only scheduled 6 months out. They're very meticulous about when they're actually extending those appointments, just making sure your body's okay. But I'm scheduled every 6 months. I do all of my care at Vanderbilt University. I live in California, but my family lives in Tennessee. So Vanderbilt is in Tennessee, I live in California. I travel home to visit those specialists. You do not have to do that. You do not have to do that. Once your health is in alignment, you can actually find local care to wherever you move to. But because my family is in Tennessee, so it's not like I have to pay for somewhere when I go to Tennessee. It's actually, I get all the bang for my buck because I get to see my family, and then I get to have my doctor's appointments at the hospital that has taken care of me for the last 10 years. So for me, it's worth it. So now every 6 months. Before that, it was every 3 months, I think. And then prior to that, I think it was every 2 months or 1 month. And then prior to that, which was closer to me being like a year from my transplant, it was like weeks. So now I'm every 6 months. But this is what I was talking about as far as like, it still affects my day-to-day life. If I felt like super secure, which as secure as I could feel about my health, I do. But because of what I went through in dealing with kidney disease, I prefer to go all the way to Tennessee, where I know I got really great care. Not that they don't have great hospitals in California, I'm sure they do. But I know who took care of me. I know who nursed me back to health. It happened to be where I was at the time, and Vanderbilt is who I've always trusted. But because it's just the fear that kind of lives with me. And I don't want to completely title it fear, but I am still so super attentive to my health, and whatever opportunity I have to give myself, you know, for, in my mind, the best opportunity to continue my life with this health, I would go to the extremes. And some people would say traveling from California to Tennessee every couple of months just to get blood work and have those doctors there evaluate that blood work is crazy when you could just get a doctor here. But for me, that's kind of the effect that, you know, having kidney disease and going through dialysis has had on me. If I have the opportunity, everything that I could possibly do, is kind of like the dialysis video. I take extra steps to make sure that my health's okay, because I do not want to miss a step. I don't want to make a mistake. So it's this little bit of fear that kind of stays with me, and it stayed with me since I had my transplant almost 3 years ago now, that lingers. So this is also a part of it. My doctor's appointments and my blood work is every 6 months now. I went home in October. My appointment was in October. I went home for the holidays in December. You know what I did when I went home for the holidays? I hit up the doctor like, hey, yeah, can you guys schedule me some blood work while I'm here? I'm just gonna go in, and if something just happens to be wrong, then we can schedule an appointment. But if not, you know, let's just do some, you know, maintenance blood work just to make sure I'm okay. They're doctors, and they are specialists at nephrology and kidney disease, and they know that 6 months is enough time. But for my peace of mind, I'm like, I'm here. Anytime that I can get some excess blood work, I will do it. So this is what this video was about. I wake up every single day. Obviously, I'm on a medicine regimen that I need to take medicine every day. So having kidney disease is something that I'll never forget that I have. But there's also a little extra attention. I think about it every day. I wake up and I pray every day, like, God, bless my health, work a miracle in my body. If it's up to me, kidney disease is not chronic, it will go away completely. I pray for that miracle every single day because I know what some of you are going through right now with this illness, how hard this illness can be on your body. But that's why I want to show up to say, there is an opportunity for life to completely change. And it may not ever be back to your life pre-diagnosis of kidney disease, but it can be good again. And let me say to you, there are things in my life that I deeply desire that I do not have yet, that I have been working at for years. There are things that are not perfect in my life. But what kidney disease has provided to me is letting me know that even in these darkest days, there is hope for me, and that things can, from going to my life in 2020, I keep pointing here, the video is no longer here, but to my life in 2020, when I was doing that dialysis, to my life now, it's completely different. It's completely different. Outside of, my little PTSD, not diagnosed, but just the trauma that is attached with going through what you go through when you have kidney disease. Yeah, I have small fear, and that's something I'm working through. I can't sit here and be like, oh, I have my kidney, my health, all my numbers are aligned. Oh, I'm carefree. Like, I know life is great. It's like, I'm always looking over my shoulder like, kidney disease, are you there? Okay, you're not too close. Cool. I guess any traumatic thing that happens to you can have that effect on you. It's like you feel like you gotta kind of look over your shoulder like, please don't come and change my life like you did back when. And so I have certain tools that I'm using. I speak on it over and over again. I am a praying, spiritual woman. That brings me peace. A part of my resolution this year is also more meditation, more time spent on myself, more reading. I've been reading this one. I've heard about this book over and over and over again. I think you guys, it's a good read so far. I'm only this far in. Let's see if you can see. So I think I'm only like 3 or 4 chapters in. But just not being overly concerned with things, not always having to look over my shoulder and be thinking about how this can affect my life. Life is going to happen. But I will say, like, it has made me extremely cautious, and I take care of my body. I know how much this body means and how fragile it is and how everything can change in an instant. So I think I've actually gained some beneficial tools from having something like kidney disease and being on dialysis. But this is something that is stuck with me. And I manage it in the best way that I can, but I don't let it steamroll my happiness and my perspective. I am living in my dreams. I am living back in California where I'm able to pursue my dreams. I now am in a very healthy relationship. I've actually talked about in my videos, like when you're dealing with dialysis or you're feeling sick, sometimes you're not confident enough to date. I have that now. I am working on my body. Like, sometimes when you deal with kidney disease and dialysis, you feel like it takes over because there's certain things like you can't control, like your weight. It fluctuates up and down depending on what medication you're taking, depending on how sick you are. But I've been able to take control of my body, my mind. I think that's the biggest part is, yes, I still deal with kidney disease on my shoulder, like, remember, I'm here. But even with all that, I feel so much joy and so hopeful, and I always feel like there's something amazing waiting for me around the corner, that I'm gonna reach a new goal. So I'm in a great space. So there is the silver lining. Yes, going through something traumatic causes trauma, and I'm dealing with it and managing it, but not letting it steamroll the better things in my life. And for those of you who are new, welcome. And then my loyal subscribers and people who engage, welcome back. I'm looking forward to a great year with you guys. If you're watching this, then you're pushing through. Everything's gonna be okay. Just gotta keep fighting and live your life to the best of your ability. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. I won't be too long.